Hello everybody, it's Foxy speaking, and welcome to another episode of Foxy's Fun Inspirational Chats. And today I will be your host. And in this episode, this is based upon a little holiday, a future holiday heading over to Zagreb in Croatia. I myself was to be going, and so was my best friend David Scott, and also our friend Sue Vecchio. Although we were not going to be staying in the same hotels or youth hostels, we were to be sleeping over in different hotels and youth hostels, though within the locality of Zagreb in Croatia. We were going to go for about 5 days, probably no longer than 5 days, as it was about a week before an event was due to take place, an event rally due to take place, and we did not want to miss, and both myself and David did not want to miss the event for the world. Let's say it takes place about a week before the Eastbourne Magnificent Motors event, and the year for this is set for, say, around about 4 to 5 years from now, from say 2027 or 2028, something like that. So yes. Well, as I'd already packed up my suitcase and headed over to Gatwick Airport, where I was to catch the aeroplane towards that goes towards Zagreb in Croatia. I went into the airport, got the train to Gatwick Airport, and then got myself checked in at the airport security, getting the luggage and the passport and the tickets checked out and all that. And after I got checked out, as I still had a while before the boarding process to board the aeroplane to Croatia, there I encountered David Scott, much to my surprise, as he had already been checked out in the airport security earlier than I had. He was in the cafe having a nice cup of coffee and a sausage roll, since he seldom got enough time to have his own breakfast before going to the airport to get checked out in the security before flying off. Then I walked over to the cafe and I was like, "David, hello there," I said. "Hello, matey, hello, Foxy," David said as we shook hands, greeting each other. He was like, "How are you?" I was like, "I'm certainly very well, thanks, David," I said. "I'm very, very much, and certainly looking forward to our holiday, heading over towards Zagreb in Croatia, making it the Croatian capital city, with yourself and lovely Sue Vecchio." I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it, mate, Foxy, mate," David said. He was like, "Yeah, I'm looking forward to Croatia, in Zagreb in Croatia, and I'm also very much looking forward to seeing little Nixa and Potato, the cats, and the owners of Nixa and Potato and all that," David said. "I too am very, very much looking forward to seeing little Nixa and wonderful Potato." But speaking of Nixa and Potato, oh gosh, those eyes from Nixa from time to time. It's like looking at your little Nixie. Those eyes when she's stimulated with excitement, David said. "I know," I responded. Nixa does certainly remind me of Nixie from time to time, and Potato very, very much reminds me of Daphne. we'd still had some time before boarding our aeroplane, and so I had a nice glass of juice, and David finished up his sausage roll and his cup of coffee, and then after he had his cup of coffee and his sausage roll, and after I'd finished up my juice, we walked over to the boarding gate for the aeroplane in the terminal. And once we were given the get-go to walk into the aeroplane at the boarding gate, there we were. We walked onto our aeroplane, and we put our luggage in the luggage rack, and we were fortunately to be sat next to each other. The aeroplane, once boarding was complete, the aeroplane was about to set off, but first it had to be reversed into the runway. As the aeroplane got reversed into the runway, it began to slowly make its move along the runway, and then before long it went faster and faster and faster and faster. Went so fast before whoosh, took off into the sky like a bird flying, taking off. That's what a lot of aeroplanes generally do when they are flying and when they take off for flying. We knew we had quite a long time of the flight, and both of our telephones were on aeroplane mode. So, and we knew we had quite a good few hours of the flight. Before long, we landed in Zagreb, in one of the airports in Zagreb in Croatia, which was where Suvecchio was to be meeting up with us. The aeroplane, screech, 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 came into land when the tyres screeched on the runway as it hurriedly landed into the airport on Zagreb Airport. And before long, as it arrived into Zagreb Airport, it's before long made a stop and parked along the parking zone in the airport. And soon it was time to get off the aeroplane. So David and myself, we picked up our suitcases and once we picked up our suitcases, we got off our aeroplane. And once we walked into the airport building, there waiting for us was Suvecchio. Both myself and David, we ended up giving a nice friendly wave towards Suvecchio herself. Suvecchio instantly recognised us and lightened up with excitement. "Foxy! David!" she said, shouting excitedly. I was like, "Hello there, Sue," I said, as I walked up to her steadily and carefully and gave her a nice gentle hug and a kiss to her cheek as I was greeting her. And then David came over greeting her. "Hello, Sue, how are you?" David said as he shook hands with her and then gave her a little kiss on the cheek and a little kiss on her hand. "Nice to see you, Sue," David said. "Nice to see you too, David," Sue said in excitement. "And nice to see you too, Foxy," Sue said. "It's a pleasure seeing you too, Sue, lovely," I said to Sue in response. "Ready for a nice holiday in Zagreb in Croatia, and later today we are to be meeting up with the owners of Nixer and Potato in an Italian restaurant in Zagreb." Yes, I'm very much aware of that," said Sue said in response to what I had said. Yeah, no, not to worry. I've not forgotten that, Foxy, so don't worry, mate, David said. I said, wonderful. We've got quite a great while before we meet up with Nixer and Potato's owners, since we're not due to meet up with them at the restaurant at around about 7 o'clock this evening, or 6:30, something like that. I'll need to double check it and I'll let you two know later on, I said in response. But I'm certainly looking forward to exploring Zagreb, exploring its points of interest, riding whatever public transportation it has and everything Zagreb has to offer. And as well as over the course of the next few days and the rest of the time we're on holiday, exploring the various other places of Croatia outside of Zagreb and all that. I too am looking forward to this as well, Sue said in excitement. Yeah. Let's see how it goes, and hopefully weather-wise it will generally stay nice, David said in response. So, before long, we picked up all our luggage and walked over to the hotels and youth hostels we were to be staying at over in Zagreb in Croatia. And so I entered the hotel where I was to be staying at for the next 5 days of the holiday. I checked in at the hotel, and the hotel staff kindly took me around the hotel to show me the room I was to be staying in. And luckily, I was directed well. The hotel staff member handed over the key to me, and I thanked him for it, shook his hand, and then unlocked the hotel door, and then walked into the hotel as I took my luggage in and took a look around the hotel room myself. It was an enchanted looking hotel room. Certainly did I very much like it. And it was certainly of nice architecture, the hotel I was staying in, as it was built to look as though it was from the rather vintage heritage times, with vintage architecture. Vintage heritage architectural designs and all the rest of it. So, yes, I was certainly much more than satisfied with the hotel I was staying in for the rest of my holiday over in the country of Croatia. It was most wonderful. Yes. Well, everybody, that's about the end of the first part, just to say. This first part is of this Foxy's Fun Inspirational Chat episode is about a holiday in which myself, David Scott, my best friend, and Sue Vecchio take to Zagreb in Croatia, not just for exploring the points of interest Zagreb, Croatia had to offer, and also exploring various other places in Croatia, and also to meet up with the owners of Nixer and Potato. This is not real, as it's only a story, just to say. It's a story set for, say, 2027 or 2028, something like that, before the Eastbourne Magnificent Motors event of, say, 2027, 2028, something like that. You know. But this is just the first part of the story, and there will certainly be more parts to follow. I certainly do not rule out the possibility of there being more than 4 parts to the story. And this story is based on a dream I'd had, and goodness, if it came true, it would certainly be all the more enchanting, I must say. But I'm more than happy with it for the time being in the story version and all that. It's really only just a story set for a few years into the future. Indeed so. But thanks everybody indeed for watching this video. Please let me know what your thoughts were in the comments down below. The second part will come before one's eyes knows it. Thanks everybody for watching. The video is really in this special dedications towards my best friend David Scott, aka Wheels Wheels Wheels, aka David's Collective Videography, and the lovely lady and lovely new friend of mine who I only just befriended earlier this year in 2023, despite having never met, lovely Sue Vecchio. Indeed, this video is in their special dedications of honorary. Indeed so. Thanks everybody indeed for watching, and I shall certainly see you in the next video. Ta-ta, another time. From Foxy. Make sure one day to look out for the second part before one's very eyes.